All in Sports Network. We love sports.
Home to the cradle of all in the greatest spectacle in racing. This is All Indiana Sports presented by the Unstable Blues.
Welcome back in. We will never know who the best complete team really was this year in the NBA. The most historic movie-like run of the Pacers ended. The Shakespearan and the team still pressed on. Let's have some group therapy as we go all in.
That's correct. I'm Kevin. This is my son Liam. We are the Unstable Blues. Happy to present All Indiana Sports as part of the All In Sports and Rogue Media Sports networks. How do we start this? I mean,
there's the overlying issue. Media has already done so much about Halliburton. By now, I believe he's already gotten his MRI. It is officially a right Achilles tear, not a strain or anything like that. It is a right Achilles tear, which is terrible for future stuff, which we will get to, I think, in another episode soon. So a little tease there. And then I think by now he's gone through surgery as well. So I wasn't following him on Instagram, but now I am, so I can track the progress that he goes through and all that stuff.
It's a little dear to your heart, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Mine wasn't an Achilles, but ACL tear for me. If you've been following the channel for a while, you'd know. But I'll kind of give a quick rundown. My junior year of high school, playing football, and there was a cut that I made where I explain it, where the bottom half of my leg stayed there, the top half of my leg went with me, and my ACL tore. So I was out the rest of my junior year. So me looking at him, seeing the pain that he was in, it hurt me looking at. So it was tough to see that, knowing I had gone through something very similar, and I don't wish that on anyone. So it was tough to see that. It was very saddening because not like, yes, in that very moment, oh no, we're probably going to lose the finals, because he started off with 9 points in 7 minutes. So he was going crazy already, but there was, the injury. But it doesn't only mean for then, but it meant for the upcoming season as well. How many games is he going to play? Is he going to play anything? Do the Pacers make the playoffs? This will all be talked about in another episode. We'll dive into that a little bit, but as of now, we stay towards this game.
The whole surgery to recovery is about a year to do it well, which means since it happened at the very end, the last game of the last, like literally the very last
latest
game,
possible thing it
could. Then you got to think he may, if he's lucky, be back for a playoff push at the end of the regular season. Probably, maybe not even until the playoffs, if then.
Yep. If I were the Pacers, obviously, like I keep saying, we'll talk about it a little bit more in another episode.
Yeah.
If I were the Pacers, I would just leave him out for the whole season. Play without him, because I think whenever he is available, it will be too late to switch things around. And if you aren't in a playoff push in the playoffs, there's no reason to switch around, because you made it there without him. So if you made it there, anyone who makes it to the playoffs can win.
Yep.
Like, that's just how it goes.
Yep.
Especially with 7-game series, it allows more of, I don't like to say more faults, or like you can't, but like you saw Halliburton had, I think, 2 pretty bad games, because you can't count Game 7 as a bad game. That was a good game. He just got injured. But he had like 2 bad games in this 7-game series, yet they went to 7 games. So like you can have bad games and it be okay.
Yeah.
So it relies more on the coaching aspect. Whereas, compared to the NFL, where it's 1 game, 1 and done. So there are just a lot of different things that go into this injury. And people are saying, "Oh, this is not an asterisk on they won fair square." You had someone who normally doesn't start off hot, but if he starts off hot,
Watch out.
Exactly. He started off hot. He went 3 of 4 from deep, and 3 of them they weren't right at the 3. They were deep threes.
Yep.
So it was only it's just frustrating to see that, and all these Thunder fans are like, "Yeah, we won fair and square." So yes, you did, but
I think from the sense I get from the unbiased, the people who had no allegiances, it was disappointing because in Game 7, where you should be having your best versus best for all the marbles for the championship,
that is not what you had.
That's not what you had. And it appeared, albeit early, that the Pacers had all of the momentum coming off of Game 6, and all of the things were clicking so well.
It literally moved into Game 7. You could see it.
And you lost your field general. You lost your hub of the wheel, and therefore the rest of the game you saw an uptick in turnovers. You saw
no aggressiveness
and a lack of continuity and mobility, more one-on-one and things like this, because there wasn't as much team basketball because the person who was there to orchestrate that was not present.
And I'm gonna move on to something else because we can't just spend the whole episode talking.
No, that's not what this is about.
I could, but we're not going to.
No.
Let's give credit where credit's due. The defense of Nembhard was still there.
Yeah.
Held SGA to believe under 30. I think 28, something like that, is what he scored. Not 100% sure. Hold on, checking.
29.
29. Okay, so under 30 still.
Yep.
That's
bad. That's a good day when you can hold SGA under 30.
The Pacers still fought and fought. TJ did TJ stuff.
They had it down to 10.
Yeah,
with
they
were
were up. They were up at
left?
halftime.
Yeah,
they were up at halftime. All of this stuff. They had it going, but they just
it was lack of this, right?
Mhm.
They could do little runs, little pieces, little things, but it seemed like everything that
they could never cap
did,
it off because he wasn't there.
And it seemed like everything that they did, they would get really close, but then there would be a answer. There would be an answer from the Thunder.
And I think Nembhard did a great job, both offensively of trying to do stuff and defensively of stopping Shea. But I believe there's only so much you can do against that. And then Siakam, as always, being able to do what he can. Obviously, he didn't do as much as normal. Only scored 16, but still he was able to, kind of get stuff going as if there wasn't, it didn't look like stuff was going to happen.
Yeah. And as I look at the stat sheet right here in front of me, the Pacers were 41% field goal percentage, almost 40% from three-point. They won percentage at the free throw line. They won total rebounds. They didn't terribly lose offensive rebounds like they have a lot of times. It comes down to the turnovers, which I said toward the between 5 and 6. You want to know who wins the game? Follow the turnovers. It's much like we say in football: protect the ball,
take the ball.
But other than the turnovers, as I look at a typical stat sheet for the Pacers as opposed to this, the number that sticks out to me is the assists.
I was going to say the same thing. And I think
there's only 17 assists in an entire game. A lot of times the Pacers would have 17 in the first half.
Yeah. And I don't want to – we said we're not going to keep bringing it up, but
you can't not.
Because There's less turnovers if he's in there because he's handling the ball. He doesn't turn the ball over.
Yep.
And there's more assists because he's assisting everyone else.
Yep.
He's creating so much chaos that he's able to get it out.
Even if he isn't the assist guy, he sets up he has the hockey assist.
Exactly.
Right.
So there's so much stuff that just would have been different if he was there. And there's only so much you can do or say about it or something like that. Woody, go.
Woody the Kitty is here to talk Pacers basketball.
Yeah.
How we doing, bud? You good?
We're getting down.
All right. Down he goes.
Okay. But there's only so much you can do without your guy that you didn't center your game plan around. We kind of talked about this a little bit, but he's the orchestrator, as you said, about.
And he didn't win the MVP of the Eastern Conference Finals, even though he thought he was going to, and he stepped up like he was going to. And maybe in retrospect, maybe he should have. Yes, Siakam is consistent, but without Halliburton, the mark of an MVP, like I told you earlier offline, mark of an MVP is how do things run without them? If it cannot, then that is your MVP. If it can, then it's not your most valuable player. Your most valuable player is felt in their absence. And, unfortunately, if you want to be an MVP, you can't miss any games. But, it's kind of how it works. What's been the formula the whole playoffs?
110 double from Halliburton.
Interesting. He's the only one by name for a reason, people, because he has MVP, and now they have to figure out what to do next season, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in another episode. But to put a bow on this one. All right. Anything else we want to bring up here?
Nope. I'm good.
All right. Okay. Because we do have a little special treat at the end. So what was your game-changing moment?
I don't remember where it was in the game, but it was Nesmith. Well, McConnell went in for a, kind of Steve Nash type of thing, but he picked up his dribble, passed to Nesmith, and Nesmith went up for a layup, got it blocked by Chet. That's whenever I was kind of like, yeah, it's done. We tried.
Yeah, I have a couple here. I couldn't quite decide. So I have one that was sort of disheartening earlier, but then they made another comeback, I guess. Jalen Williams 3 from the far kind of wing with 8:29 left. It left it with an 89-68 score.
21 points.
That made it kind of out of reach. But then Mathurin just wouldn't let up. Mathurin decided that he was going to try to be the guy if nobody else would. And so he kept attacking, kept getting free throws, kept getting should have been and ones. Multiple, at least 3 that we counted.
Also, TJ was getting fouled so much whenever he's going in. There's one place specifically where he got the ball stolen from him, but the only reason he got stolen is because he's there dribbling it, has his offhand here, like an arm mark, normal. And Casey Wallace is literally extending and grabbing his wrist, and the ref is right there not doing anything about it.
We won't get into any of that. There's not going to be any bitterness. We already determined in Game 4 with Scott Foster exactly what the NBA wanted. So if you want to see that, you can go back and see my rant on that. But moving on. So if it wasn't that, they did make a comeback, but Nembhard had a 3 to cut it to 10, but then Chet had a dunk answer on the other end, and that was with 2:24 left of the 12-point lead. Have they overcome that this playoffs? Yes. Have they overcome that multiple times this playoff? Yes, but not without Halliburton.
Yeah.
So
not without the guy.
Kind of put it out of reach there.
Yep.
Then, who would be your player of the game?
In my eyes, it can only be two people. There's two people that never gave up. Siakam was not one of them. He gave up. You saw him give up.
Yep.
And I think we both have the same person. It could be Matherin because of that little bit at the end, but it has to be TJ McConnell. Like, that little man would never give up. Who would have thought? Like, he's bringing old school basketball back. Like, that's what it feels like. He's not going for the threes. He wants to drive. You don't see that often. Like, yes, SJ wants to get in that mid-range, finishing close to the basket range, but he's still starting at the top of the key. You see McConnell, he's going down. He's starting at the top, but once he actually makes his first move, he's inside the arc. I don't know what he has, but our team, I think it would be great if basketball was played like him.
I agree. TJ McConnell is the player of the game. If you're talking about in Game 7, you lose Halliburton, and there's thought processes and betting odds going up for him potentially being the MVP of the entire series as a bench player. Absolutely. Totally agree. Unbelievable performance. Never gives up. Dude gets on the court. And if I've said this before, I'm sorry, but who cares? He elevates the level of play of everyone around him because of the way he plays. You can't play with him and not play like him. You will stick out. He makes you stick out. So you got to up your game to his level.
Up the intensity.
And if you are a small person out there and you don't think you can make it in the NBA, watch him work.
He's still 6'1".
Agreed. But still, there have been guys smaller than him as well. It all comes down to how hard are you going to work and how hard are you going to hustle and will you get after it? TJ says, yes, I will. All of those things 100% of the time. Now, also, in addition to that, in addition to his defense, that's 94 feet of defense, and his hustle, that is 100% of the time, he is completely fearless. He will get in the lane, and he doesn't care who's there. He's going to make a play. If that means that he's going to get blocked, fine, whatever. He doesn't care. If that means that he's going to be smarter than that and go up under the rim and use the rim to defend against the defender, that's what he's going to do. If it means he's going to have a floater in the middle of the lane against a 7-footer, all right, cool. I'm good with quick mathematics and geometry, and I know how to skyrocket that thing up and drop it in so it'll be where it needs to be.
Yep.
It's TJ McConnell, without a doubt. Really glad he's still in the contract for us.
I am too.
Although your mother thinks he's going to retire.
Oof. I would hate that so much.
Please not. Please not. Let's keep it together for 2 years.
Yep.
2 years. It's got to be 2-year plan now, not just 1-year plan. Although I may have a potential solution for next year for the later episode. But we're going to wrap up this episode with a look back. Because
we talk about this Game 7.
As you mentioned in the open, I came up with this analogy. This series, because of this game and what happened to Halliburton, is sort of like the old commercial about the Tootsie Roll center of the Tootsie Pop. How many licks is it going to take? Who would have really won this game? Who was the better team? The world may never know. But since we're a Pacers podcast, we're going to remind you of all the things that went on during this playoffs.
During this Cinderella run.
This underdog, Hollywood could not have scripted this. they would have been laughed at because it's completely unrealistic. All of the things that the Pacers did this postseason that have never been done before or are so incredibly rare in one playoff run.
Yep. First team in NBA history with 8 players scoring 200 points or more over the course of this playoffs.
8 players. Once again, we have said the whole time, this is a team, top to bottom. That's what it is. TJ McConnell in the finals is the first bench player in the NBA Finals history with 60 or more points total and 25 or more assists and 15 or more rebounds in a single finals.
Nesmith set the NBA record in the next series with 6 3-pointers in the fourth quarter of a playoff game.
Absolutely incredible. Halliburton was the first NBA player ever to have 30 or more points, 15 or more assists, and 10 or more rebounds, and 0 turnovers in a playoff game. Only one.
Largest comeback in a finals game in game 1, down 15 with 10 minutes left.
Whew. It's giving me chills here. Down 20 with 3 minutes and 20 seconds to the Knicks in game 3 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Came all the way back.
Down 14 with 2 minutes 40 left to the Knicks in game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Yep.
Halliburton and his layup on Giannis, soloed out, up and under in game 5 to put them away. Yes, there was the Pops aftermath, but who cares?
Halliburton free throw, gets his own rebound, dribbles back to the 3-point line in game 2 against the Cavs, step back on Ty Jerome, game-winning 3.
Woo! Man. And honestly, I think there's more, but this is just like this is the highlights that we could remember. Absolutely. Like, go ahead.
To end, like, and not only this, but the whole season, Halliburton is 13 of 15 on game tying or winning shots within the last minute of the game.
Yep.
One, he missed because he was going for some foul thing and he just airballed it. Another, didn't even matter because Obi Toppin came in with a dunk.
That's right. Yep.
So,
yep.
Like, pretty much, you can effectively say if he's actually trying to go for a shot,
he's undefeated.
Yep.
To say that, now I understand recency bias. To say that this playoff run is a absolutely historic run by the Pacers is not hyperbole. It is not over exaggeration. It is the absolute truth. And I hope and pray and wish that forever this Pacers team will be remembered as the greatest team of this NBA season, regardless of winning a championship or not.
Yep.
But that's we have. Check out our Fever Red episode. Also, from the same day, we analyzed yet another lead slipping away against the Aces. Your mom and I will also be back next week as the Fever have 3 games in 4 days and land here in Texas to play paid Beckers in the Dallas Wings. Plus, we'll be back soon with a special update you will not want to miss.
Yep. This is Liam.
And this is Kevin,
reminding you to stay all Indiana.
All in Sports Network. We love sports.